something you want to get involved with. Operation Underground Railroad. It's ourrescue.org. You can get involved a million different ways, from giving $5 a month to being on a prayer team. Go to ourrescue.org. Back in just a second. Now this, building a quality team is crucial to your company's success. When you're looking to hire, you don't want to just post your job on one site. You need to do on all of them. And there's at least 200 major sites, including things like Facebook and Twitter. Find the candidates in any city, any industry, nationwide. You post once and you watch your qualified candidates roll in to ZipRecruiter's easy-to-use interface. No juggling emails, calls to your office. You just screen the candidates, rate them, and hire the right person fast. I wonder if we could use ZipRecruiter to find this guy in Thailand. I said to Tim, I don't remember where we were, and I think he thought I was joking or would like it if I was joking, but I wasn't. I think that the time will come that somewhere in the world there will be a statue built of Tim Ballard.
You promised me you would never share that thought.
I believe
you
that.
You just violated it.
Yeah, you know...
That's Glenn Beck.
That is Glenn Beck.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, he'll tell you that off the air, and then on the air, it doesn't count.
Well, because I have a bad memory and I don't remember things like that.
And because he wants to say it. So.
Yeah, and it's like it's good anyway.
He wants to say
it's
it.
good for him.
But that's a good reason to not make the promise, right? If you can't remember to not say it later.
So I want to say this blanket for anybody in my life that doesn't already know this. I mean, there's a reason I have very few friends.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yes.
Anyway,
I'm kind of interested in this trip. Because you got Glenn Beck going to Bangkok while you're doing
the slums
of Bangkok, while you're doing this amazing work to try to rescue these children. I mean, and you're saying that this area is loaded with Westerners.
Yes.
I mean, Glenn, people, wouldn't you think that someone might recognize him? This is not the time to come up for an autograph, by the way.
Yeah, we were talking to Glenn Security earlier. Said, how do we prevent from, before we get the message out, the headlines and tabloids, Glenn Beck caught in brothel? Pictures. And I thought, oh my gosh, what if that happens? Well, we're
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, that's a really dumb
thing. You could use it to your
do.
advantage later, though, because once you come out with the truth, then
the press would never report the truth. They would never report. Glenn Beck caught buying 6-year-old boys.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, I never even thought of that.
Yeah. That could be
I just
bad.
thought about the Westerners because I heard, Glenn, you got to do some things, and I just thought it was because somebody might recognize me and it could queer whatever we were trying to do.
Are you taking 3 or 4 planes? Because I don't know if you've ever traveled with Glenn before, but he doesn't necessarily travel light.
All right. So here's the thing.
Because you want to go there. I mean, and this is, you're going there. Look, he's doing actual work there.
Well, I'm doing actual work too. I just want to.
Well, you're doing
actual work. Here's the thing.
You want to tell these stories and see. It's one thing to talk about this in the abstract. It's another thing to actually be there and
change your life going to Haiti.
See it.
Yeah, changes your life
and
to see this. This is something I really want to talk about. Let me ask you this question, and I ask this of everybody in the floor crew. If we went back in time and it was 1860 and we were fighting against slavery, it's 1840 and you find out about slavery, how many of us say we would definitely be an abolitionist and we would stand against it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, absolutely. Raise your hand if that's right.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. Everybody in the room would say, I'm an abolitionist. I think that's bullcrap.
Right, because, the pressures of the time.
The time.
Yeah.
It's easy to overlook it. It's easy to say, people.
They're fine.
I met somebody yesterday that was on the radio or the television show with me who sat in the front row, didn't know what the show was about. It was about this. And he said, I can't thank you enough for doing this show today. I'm here. And every time you guys talk about this, I turn the TV channel because I don't want to see any of the pictures. I don't want to see any of it. Yeah. And I'm forced now to sit here and watch it. I couldn't walk out from the studio and couldn't ask you guys to talk about something else. So I've looked at it, and he said, life-changing. What am I doing? And I think most of us wouldn't be doing anything because there are more slaves today than all of the slave trade from the beginning of the Western slave trade to the end, all of those combined. It's only a fraction of those who are actually enslaved today.
Yeah, that's one of those stats that you hear and don't believe. I mean, I know
Do you
when
have
you
the
said
numbers?
it, I
Do you
was
have
like,
the
oh,
actual
crap.
numbers anywhere close to the numbers?
Yeah, I mean, the estimates are around 30 million. That's conservative.
Yep.
30 million people
Today.
alive right now that are in
Today.
slavery.
And there was something like 15 million in the slave trade from the
Altogether.
1500s
Yeah.
into the 1880s.
Right.
I mean, it's
think
incredible.
of that. That's spread out over hundreds of years, and we're double the number today.
Yeah.
So what is it we're doing about it? I'm leaving the studio and heading to Bangkok, and I will be back Monday afternoon. So I'll be back on the air Tuesday. 40 hours in the air, less than 30 hours on the ground, and hope to bring back some stories, not of the vice, but of the virtue, of the things that are really happening that are a bright light. And we are concentrating on this all over the world because we're all connected to this. And in Bangkok, we are one of the main sources of the buyers. I mean, we
as in Americans.
Americans,
right?
yeah. I mean, it is. I have only seen the stats. I have not experienced it myself. But looking at the stats, America and the West, we ship all of our dirt bags over there. They're all taking dirt bag vacations. And I don't know how you stop that. I mean, other than drying up the source. I can't even imagine what people in Bangkok think of American men because it's so grotesque what happens over there.
Well, you arrest enough of them, and you start creating a deterrent.
Where was it? Colombia that you...
Yeah.
Tell that story quickly.
Yeah, in Colombia, we did about 3 or 4 operations, big ones. It got in the media. We went back a month later after that, and no one would sell kids. They wouldn't even talk about it, referencing all these Americans keep getting arrested. And I was with an undercover operator in Colombia. We walked around the corner. He was crying. He says, Tim, this is working. This is working. We have shut it down, at least for a time. We got to keep hitting it, though. You got to keep hitting it. That's what we do at OUR. Keep hitting it, empowering the law enforcement until a deterrent is laid.
I'm telling you, this changes lives, and this is something that all of us can agree on. I'm taking Samantha. She was supposed to come to Bangkok with me, Samantha B. She couldn't because of scheduling at the last minute, but she has said tentatively, I'm coming to Uganda, where we're going to find these devil worshippers and free these children from being human sacrifices. But this is something we can agree on and come together. Being an abolitionist will heal our wounds. It will heal our wounds and heal our country. I'm convinced of it. We just have to get the word out. And every time anybody gets involved at the smallest level, all of a sudden they want, for instance, the guy who, and I don't want to say anything about him, I don't want to say what agency he came from or anything else, but he gave up a gigantic gig.
Huge gig.
And walked away from it and said, I think I have a skill to be able to help find the bad guys. And he's one of the nicest, most prayerful guys you can imagine. And we were just in Haiti. Your team could not find the big kahuna, if you will.
That's right.
He said, let me go. He took a plane, flew over. Within 2 hours?
Yep. Within 2 hours, he found
the kingpin
of the whole thing. How he operates is before he walks into the place where the police said, look, there's this nightclub. I swear it's happening. I went back and said, we sent 3 teams in. We can't find it. This guy said, let me try. He goes outside. He says a prayer with his small team, and then he walks in. And he says it's like Dory from Finding Dory. He says, just keep swimming. And he just says, the Lord literally guides him to the right person, who then introduces him to the other person. The other person, he might have to go a mile down the street to a house, to the red door, and boom.
And he is the most unlike,
Wow.
wouldn't you say?
It's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
You would meet this
Totally
guy
unlike-
and you would
I
never
didn't realize
think.
he did he completely walk away from his business?
About pretty much the whole thing.
Okay, cool.
Wow.
Enough.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he's an amazing man. He's going with us
He'll be there.
to
Yeah.
Bangkok.
Yep.
Okay. The one thing because we're getting ready to go on a plane, you got to go as well. But I want to leave with this. I look at my life differently than I ever have. I believe we are living in truly historic times where scholars and authors like Tim, who wrote about George Washington and the Covenant, those scholars are going to be looking back at these times. And we are going to be studied either because we made it or because we failed. This is the moment of truth for the United States. We're either going to make it or we're not. This is the pivot point. And scholars will study for generations What did the people do? We're going to be remembered horribly on things like abortion. Horribly. It's only a matter of time before science just proves all of these lies that it's not really a baby. Completely untrue. Slavery. To be so entertained with the things that we're entertained and to argue about the things we're arguing about now. Think of that and then think of 35 million slaves and children as young, literally, you've pulled them out at 2 years old.
Absolutely.
People having sex with a 2-year-old. What are we doing? People say every time they're involved with a little bit, I want to go, I want to help, I want to do. I don't. I really don't want to see the bad stuff. I don't want to go on a bust. I don't want to be a part of any of that. I want to be a part of the good stuff, of the healing afterwards. But I really don't even have the skill to do anything there. But I have my resources that I can apply to this, my talent. There are people who have no talent to help in this regard. They may not have any money to help in this regard. But there are different ways, and Tim has just posted them on the website. They're up now?
Yep, they are.
At Our Rescue, different ways for you to get involved. As simple as, I want to be on the prayer team. I want to pray when things are going down. I want to be on my knees and just praying for the teams. So simple things like that, all the way to working in Bangkok. We're looking, is that job going to be posted up on the website, or how do they find out if they contact you?
We're going to start with this.
Okay.
And see what happens.
Okay. And again, you need to be somebody who has worked in this industry for an agency.
Yes.
Have some experience, hopefully computer experience.
Computers and undercover operations.
Undercover operations.
And then they would just go to OURrescue.org and send in the email, say, I heard this on Glenn Beck, and here's what I want.
Okay.
Here's my resume.
Okay.
And we'll be waiting.
They do use retired special forces, but that's not something, I mean, they just don't, they're not, you can't just call up and say, hey, I want to go on a mission. Here's what they really need. $5. Literally $5. Almost everyone that they have freed, we not only take them and free them, they are put, the most important part is they are put into a safe house, and sometimes they are kept until they're 18, until they are out of trouble and they have schooling, they have a family, if you will, and they are deprogrammed from all of this stuff. $5.